Chapter 5. A Spelling Book.
"Open the door!" Geppetto shouted from the street.
"But, Papa, I can't. My feet have been eaten," Pinocchio cried as he stumbled to the floor.
"Who has eaten your feet?" Geppetto asked.
Pinocchio blamed the cat.
"Pinocchio, open the door at once!" Geppetto shouted in frustration.
He was sure this excuse was only another one of the puppet's tricks. Geppetto angrily climbed in through a window. When he saw his little puppet without feet, he was overcome with emotion.
"Pinocchio, how did you manage to burn your feet?" he asked.
"I don't know, Papa. It's been an awful night," Pinocchio said as he told Geppetto about the flying chick, the old man who threw water on him, and how he put his feet on the coals to dry. At the end of his sad tale, Pinocchio began to cry so loudly that he could be heard 5 miles away. Geppetto saw that the puppet was dying of hunger. He took 3 pears from his pocket and gave them to Pinocchio.
"Here, Pinocchio, these were for my breakfast, but you can have them. I hope they will make you feel better," Geppetto said.
"Please peel them for me," Pinocchio requested.
"Peel them?" Geppetto asked in disbelief. "I don't think you should be so picky when you're starving, Pinocchio," Geppetto suggested. "In this world, my boy, we should eat everything, for anything may happen to us."
"I'm sure you are right, Papa, but please peel them. I don't like the skin of the pear," Pinocchio said. Geppetto picked up a knife and peeled the 3 pears, putting the skins on the corner of a table. Pinocchio ate the first pear in 2 mouthfuls and was about to throw away the core. Geppetto stopped him and said,
"Don't throw it away. You may want it later."
"I'm not going to eat the core," the puppet said bitterly. Geppetto only repeated what he had said earlier.
"Who knows what life may bring, Pinocchio? Anything may happen to us in this world," he cautioned patiently.
So the cores were placed on the corner of the table with the pear skins. After devouring the 3 pears, Pinocchio was still hungry.
"I have nothing more to give you," Geppetto said.
"Nothing at all?" the puppet asked.
"Only the skins and the cores," Geppetto offered.
"Oh, well, I see that I must have patience," said Pinocchio. "If there is nothing else, I will eat them." Pinocchio made faces as he chewed the skins and the cores of the pears, but finally he said, "Ah, I feel better now."
"You see," Geppetto said, "I was right. You shouldn't be too particular. Anything can happen to us in this world."
Pinocchio wanted a new pair of feet. Geppetto, to punish him for being naughty, let him cry and moan for half a day.
"Why should I make new feet for you? You'll only run away again from home."
"I promise that I will go to school and I will study and I will do well," Pinocchio said.
"All boys, when they want something, say the same thing," Geppetto said.
"But I am not like other boys. I promise you, Papa, that I will learn a trade and I will take care of you in your old age," Pinocchio said solemnly. Geppetto tried to look stern, but his eyes were full of tears and his heart was full of sorrow at seeing his poor Pinocchio without feet. He picked up his tools and 2 small pieces of wood and started working.
"Close your eyes and go to sleep, Pinocchio," Geppetto said.
Pinocchio shut his eyes and pretended to sleep while Geppetto glued his feet in place. Then Pinocchio jumped down from the table and hugged Geppetto. Then he began to run all around the room. "To reward you for what you have done for me," Pinocchio said, "I will go to school at once."
"Good boy," Geppetto said happily.
"But if I am going to school, I'll need clothes," Pinocchio said. Geppetto was poor and didn't have enough money to buy new clothes for Pinocchio, so he made Pinocchio a shirt of flowered paper and a pair of shoes from the bark of the tree. He also made a hat of dough. "I look like such a gentleman," Pinocchio said proudly, looking at his reflection in a basin of water.
"Yes, you do," answered Geppetto. "Keep in mind that it is not fine clothes that make a gentleman, but clean clothes."
"I forgot the most important thing of all," Pinocchio said.
"What is that?" Geppetto asked.
"I need a spelling book," the puppet said.
"But we don't have any money," Geppetto said.
Pinocchio became very sad.
"Don't worry, Pinocchio," Geppetto said.
He put on his old coat and ran out the door. Not long afterward, Geppetto returned holding a spelling book in his hand. The poor man was not wearing his coat, even though it was snowing outside. "Papa, where is your coat?" Pinocchio asked.
"I have sold it," Geppetto said.
"Why?" Pinocchio asked.
"Because it was too hot," Geppetto answered.
Pinocchio understood at once. Geppetto had sold his coat to get enough